Hi everyone. If you're watching this at the moment or later, if you're watching the recording, it's time for our autumn elections. So we have elections open for course reps and for part-time officers. And if as part of your campaign, you want to create some posters and videos, I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can do that. You don't have to necessarily create posters and videos. You can just run with your manifesto on our website and people will be able to read it and vote there. But it's really nice if you do, and also helps with the general awareness of who you are, what you're running for, and people knowing you. And then that helps once you are elected as well. My name is Gergana. I'm the communications and events manager. So I'm creating posters pretty much all the time, almost every day. So hopefully I'll be able to help you and answer any questions that you have. To start with, I'm just going to tell you about what we're going to cover. And then I'm hoping for the whole video to be no longer than 20-25 minutes. So we'll talk about your message and objectives, what digital and print marketing materials you can use, and we'll talk about social media a little bit. So the most important thing when you are campaigning to be a course rep or to be an officer is your message. So how do you want people to remember you, to think of you? What is the one key message that you want people to associate you with? And here I'm going to ask you to pause this video, or if you are watching live, to just take a few moments to write down your key message. And it's okay if you don't know at the moment. It's okay if it's not your final message, but just write the first thing that comes to your mind about how do you want people to think of you and your campaign, and who are you going to be for the people you will represent, either as a course rep or as an officer. And then we will talk about how to translate this message into posters, slogans, your communication style in general, and so on. So just a few moments for you to do that. Could be one line, could be something very short. And you can give me a thumbs up when you're ready, and feel free to stop me and ask me questions as well, Lisa, at any point. Yeah, so move on. Brilliant. Okay. So think about this message as we go through the presentation. And then we want to think about what are your objectives for this election period. So some examples are, my 3 or 4 objectives are for voters to know my name. It's really important for you to know who your voters are. So if you're running for a course rep, this will be the people on your course. So you probably know a lot of them. But if you're running to be an officer, you wouldn't have known a lot of them. So try and find out who they are. So if it's a school officer role, then that's everyone in your school. Try to find out which courses are in your school. Maybe there are some you didn't know about. If you're running to be a liberation officer, then that will be everyone who identifies as the liberation group that you're running to represent. So for example, if it's students with caring responsibilities, then that will be people who have children or have other caring responsibilities. Could be like lots of different ones. So think about who they are, how you may reach them. Then your second objective could be for voters to know your face. So 1, your name, and 2, your face. So maybe you can upload a picture to our website. So when they go to vote, they easily remember and they go, oh yes, I know her, I've seen her in class, or I know him, I've seen him around or at events, or I've seen them when they did this or that. And then for the other to think about specifically for your role, do you want voters to associate you with something specific? Like that can be related to the message we did on the previous slides. And then if you're running to be a school officer or a liberation officer or campus officer, and you have multiple manifesto points, maybe one of your objectives could be voters can outline that one of my manifesto points is X. So for course reps, that would be, if you've said in your manifesto you want to do 3 things, let's say improve communication with academic staff, organize socials, and a 3rd one, maybe you have one that you really focus on so that they remember it, and it's like very easy, because not everyone will read your full manifesto. Like some people would take the minimum effort and time to complete the whole voting process. Some cohorts will be required to vote in class, because different academic staff have picked different options for voting. So some election voting will be happening in class, and for some other cohorts it will be online. So if it's online, definitely then probably not going to read the full manifesto, but if they can remember one thing, that'll be really helpful. So these are just examples, but when you create your whole plan, think about what are your objectives and why you're doing this whole thing. Why are you creating posters? Why are you talking to them? What are you trying to achieve? And then we'll talk about the marketing materials that you can use. We wasn't Bradley at the end when he joins the call, but if you are running to be an officer, you get some budget to spend. I believe it's £35 towards your marketing materials and your general campaign. So think about that as well once you know what exactly do you want to do. And then again, it's very specific. Are you running to be a course rep or an officer, and how you're going to reach the students you represent? But some ideas for things you can do are you can put posters up around campus. So if you know that your cohort are really they're regular visitors in the shop, you can ask to put up some posters there. You're not allowed to put posters anywhere you want. It needs to be on one of the SU boards. So talk to us about that. Or if you see like a gray board for election specifically, then you can use that. Or you can think of an interactive marketing tool, and you can relate this to one of your manifesto points. So for example, if you want to do some giveaways, you can use that budget that I mentioned for that. But maybe if you are campaigning about sustainability, then one of these bits can be sustainable, or it can represent something that you are using as a manifesto point. So interactive marketing tools can be anything. It can be stickers, it can be like a physical object, it can be a frame that people take pictures of that you voted, it can be people have done t-shirts in the past, they've done a million things. It really depends on how much effort you want to put in it, and how much you want to relate it to your manifesto points. And you can create your own Instagram account, and you can use that later on if you win to communicate with students rather than them messaging you on your personal account. And in this way you also separate work and personal life. So if for you it's easier and better to have these separate channels, then maybe do that. You can do the same with a Facebook page or a group. So for example, you can, once you are then elected as a course rep, for example, you can create a Facebook group where people can ask questions, you can get feedback. Or if your cohort are not the sort of people who like using Facebook, you can think of something else. But if you start this while you're campaigning, then you already have the audience there. So that's something you can consider doing even prior to being elected and winning the actual election. You can make use of Instagram Reels, or if you have TikTok, to do some TikToks on there. People have been very creative in the past with memes and with promotional videos. And if you go to our YouTube channel, the University of South Students Union YouTube account, you'll be able to see lots of videos from last year and some TikToks on there as well for inspiration. And a few things that you need to include no matter what role you're running for is your name, and your name as it appears on the ballot. So not a short name, a pet name, a nickname, whatever, but like you want people to vote for you and to be absolutely sure who you are, rather than using like a Superman name or like something very cool for the campaign. That would be really nice, but then would they actually recognize that it's you? So use your name as they will see it when they go to vote. Definitely include your photo in any promotion that you do, even if it's like a simple Facebook post. Try to include your photo. Remember, especially if one of your objectives is for people to recognize your face, then you definitely want to have a photo of you. And I'd recommend using the same photo when you submit your manifesto. So MSL is our website provider. This is where people will log in to vote. So having the same photo there with the same one you use on social media is recommended. Definitely include the role you're running for. People always forget that. So yeah, because there will be lots of other options they'll be asked to vote for. So if they're eligible to vote for, let's say, LGBT officer or whatever other role they're eligible to vote for, when they open the vote now button, they'll be given lots of different ones. So they might not know what you are running for exactly. So in any promotion that you do, include name, photo, the role you're running for, and then how to vote, because some people really wouldn't know and you want to make life as easy as possible for them. So include that link. If you're not sure, check with Bradley or with your lecturer, if you're a course rep, about how elections are happening for your cohort, because this year, as I've mentioned, we've given them the option for an in-person election. So double check how is this happening for you. We also have a page on our website where it gives you that information. But if it's online, definitely in any post that you do, include the link to our elections hub. So this is the link that you need. And then a lot of people in the past have chosen to have a slogan. And again, this is something fun, and you don't have to have it, but it just adds a little bit of fun to the whole process. And it might be something you remember, and it might be something that you will just enjoy doing. And people can help you with that, and you can create nice friendships while doing that. So it adds to the fun as well as being very useful to have one. So you can have a slogan for your general campaign. You can link it to your name. I'd recommend making it very short, snappy and original. You don't want it to be like 2 sentences long. There are lots of ideas if you Google how to make a great slogan about puns and using alliteration and so on. But it can be something just close to you, something that you like. You can sort of borrow an idea. You can borrow someone else's slogan and make it your own, connect it to the course you're doing or the group you represent. You can link it to something modern and memorable, but obviously make sure that it follows all elections guidelines. So, and general code of conduct guidelines. So definitely double check with Bradley if you think it's quite risky. And here, I mean, obviously needs to be respectful and so on. You can't use like words that would breach that. But as long as it fits with our elections guidelines, you can be as creative as you want. So if you really wanted to prepare yourself and if you wanted to run a really big campaign, there are lots of things you can do. You can watch workshops from last year because we've run them for quite a few years now. So there are some available on our YouTube channel that you can watch. You can attend the ones that we're running right now as well. You can research what slogans people used in past elections, and even by going to Instagram and going to Reels, you will see lots of videos from Our March elections, for example, they're really good example. Or you can borrow a marketing concept from a brand. If you have a favorite brand that you really admire and you think their slogan or their general campaign was really catchy, why don't you just borrow it and make it yours? It wouldn't be illegal because this is for the purpose of this election. It's not, you're not selling anything. It's, and you will change it as well. So you're going to make it completely yours. You're not going to use images and you're not going to use the slogan exactly as it is. So we'll talk about copyright, but there are ways around it. You can also create and plan your content. So if you're very busy, you have so much to do, you can pre-schedule all of your Facebook posts and Facebook content. You can talk to students in advance to test your ideas, see if they will respond to that. And you can keep refining your slogan, your message, and schedule your content. So again, this is if you are creating a Facebook page, for example, or an Instagram page where you want to encourage people to vote, you can schedule all of that so you don't have to do it all in one day if you have lectures and other commitments. And people always ask what resources. I'm not a comms person or I'm not a creative agency. How do I do all of that? So everything you need, you probably already have. So your phone is probably the biggest resource that you'll need. Instagram Reels is if you want to create an Instagram account. Canva, it's a tool for non-designers, which has lots of templates. So you don't have to even have any graphic design skills to use it. And there is a 1 month free trial. So you can register a free account, obviously remember to cancel it afterwards. But you can do that. And you can use your friends to help you with tasks or just to spread the word about what you're doing. There is loads of royalty-free content out there for images, for music and so on. And you are your best resource as well. And your time is your best resource. And then on to videos. So if you're running to be a course rep, you might think that doing a video is a bit too much and you might not want to do that. But if you're running to be an officer, then that will really help you stand out from the crowd. No matter what role you're running for, you can have a video and you're welcome to. And ideas that people have tried out in the past include acting out film scenes, singing songs, either original ones or like ones that they've created from scratch, or rewriting the lyrics of popular tunes. And when you rewrite it, that's fine under copyright. You can use props, you can repurpose items you already own. People in the past have done really funny videos where they've used humor. Generally, when you record it, you want to minimize the background noise that you have. And then if you really want to make it sound very professional, you can record the audio separately. You can also cut all the if you record a video where you're talking rather than singing, to make it shorter and easier to watch. And you can think about how you record it. So if you're going to post it on Instagram Reel, you might want to record it vertically. And then if you want to post it on Twitter and Facebook, you might want to resize it, or you want to do another recording. And then if you are to do sponsored ads, and then as I said, for officers, you can get a budget to help you with that. Actually, you can't use your own money. You can only use this money that's allocated to it. And you have to declare, there is a box that you need to tick, that it's a social and political issues category, because even though it's just a campus level election, it's still an election. So you need to tick that box on Instagram and Facebook. I mentioned copyright. I'm not going to go into it. If you have any questions, please email me. But generally speaking, if you have an Instagram account, that's a personal account, not a business one, you wouldn't be able to see the stats, you wouldn't be able to see the demographic following your account, but you'll be able to use the music. So it's up to you. What do you think is more valuable? A business account can't use the music that most people can because of copyright. There's lots of raw different music online, images and videos that you can borrow, but sometimes they're not as popular or the ones that you want. And then if you use videos on TikTok, and because it stays on the platform, that's fine. You can use the songs there. And this is just a reminder for people who do a lot of social media promotion that one like is not enough, and you have to ask your friends to save, share, and comment, because otherwise you don't get the organic reach that you're looking for. So if you really want to spread the word, and if you want everyone in your school or in your liberation group to know about you, your friends need to really help you with that, and save the post, share the post, keep commenting. Otherwise, it's really hard to get organic reach. And that was everything. I think, yeah. Yeah, do you have any questions? Oh, I tried to do that as quickly as I could. I can actually stop the recording so that you can ask me all of your questions, and then whoever is watching this online, please email me. I'll leave my email. And thank you very much for listening and for watching. So I'll stop the recording now.